Hello aspirants, welcome back to the fascinating world of anthropology. So friends, it is a well-established fact that anthropology is one of the most preferred optional subjects by many UPSC aspirants. And it is also a well-known fact that anthropology is one of the most scoring subjects in UPSC Civil Services Mains examination. So friends, one of the important prerequisite that you require to clear the examination with anthropology optional is that you must have a clear-cut idea with respect to the syllabus. So friends, today let us try to have some sort of deep insights into the syllabus of anthropology. So my dear friends, as I say regularly, so you have to master the syllabus before you proceed with understanding the concepts. So if you don't master the syllabus, then it becomes very difficult for you to proceed further. So in this video, let us try to have a deep insights into anthropology syllabus and let us try to understand it in a systematic fashion. So that's with respect to today's subject of discussion. So friends, so it is a well-established fact and it is very well understood that what do you mean by anthropology. So already we have discussed so many times, and again I am just explaining for the people, those who are just visiting for the first time. So the word anthropology has been derived from two Greek words. So one, it is known as anthropos, and the other Greek word, it is known as logos. So in simple fashion to say, the word anthropos means human being, and the word logos basically refers to study. So in a simple fashion to say, what do you mean by anthropology? So anthropology basically refers to the study of human beings from etymological perspective. So etymologically how we can define? So this is how we can define. So now when we are talking from the perspective of this particular study, so what kind of study it is? So this is another important aspect that we have to know. So when we see, it is a kind of systematic study. So try to remember this, it is a systematic study and it's a kind of scientific study. It is again scientific study and it's a kind of holistic study. So this is the nature of the study of anthropology. So here what we will do, so usually, so we will try to do or we will try to study human beings in a systematic fashion, in a scientific fashion and in a holistic fashion. So that's basically is nothing but anthropology. So with this understanding, let us try to move further and let's try to understand further aspects. So if you look from UPSC point of view, so anthropology has been, as unlike all other optionals, so the syllabus of anthropology has been systematically divided into two papers. So the first, it is nothing but paper 1 and other one, it is nothing but paper 2. So friends, so if you see from the perspective of anthropology paper 1 and paper 2, so usually, so the portion that is related to general anthropology, that would be present in your paper 1. So general anthropology would be dealt in paper 1, whereas the anthropology portion related to India, so particularly Indian anthropology, will be there in paper 2. So this is one thing that you have to know at the very first. So here, when you again talk from the perspective of the general anthropology, that is in paper 2, so paper 2 would be systematically divided into various sections. So first section amongst that, it would be known as socio-cultural anthropology. Socio-cultural anthropology. So that would be the first section. Okay. So in socio-cultural anthropology, we will be systematically trying to study about some of the social as well as cultural aspects of the human beings. So let us try to understand what are those things. Then next, other section is nothing but physical anthropology. So in physical anthropology, we will be systematically studying about various biological aspects about the human beings. Biological aspects means human being is a living organism, so cells are there, so human genetics is there, so chromosomes are there, so all such kind of aspects we'll be studying in physical anthropology. Then the next section, it is basically known as the we have the linguistic anthropology. So this would be another important section in paper 1. And then the next thing, it is nothing but, so we'll also study about various aspects related to archaeology. So where we'll call it as archaeological anthropology. So actually, in fact, these are nothing but branches of anthropology also, but particularly when you see from the perspective of the paper 1, so we can have these important sections. So try to understand this. So again, in these particular areas, so particularly if you see from the perspective of the socio-cultural anthropology, you will have the basic portion of society and social aspects, and along with that we will also systematically study about some theories, so anthropological theories. So then if you see from the perspective of the physical anthropology, you can have some aspects related to primatology also. So what do you mean by primatology? Primatology means like primate, study about the primates. So thing is that like human being belongs to the primates order. So we'll be systematically studying about some aspects about how man has evolved from animals. So that is one another thing. So this is basically that we can see in paper 1. So then in paper 2, if you see, so usually we'll have two important sections. So first is predominantly made up of studying about various aspects about Indian anthropology. That means various socio-cultural aspects of Indian anthropology. That's one thing. Then second thing, it would be predominantly the tribal anthropology. So these are the important sections of anthropology that we can have. So now let us try to take each section and let us try to understand what we'll be studying in that particular aspect. So that would be our major quest. So try to just have a deep glance of it, because if you don't understand the syllabus properly, so my dear friends, it will be problematic for you to just learn the subject in a systematic fashion. So when we see from the perspective of the first section, so socio-cultural anthropology. When you see this socio-cultural anthropology, so this, as I have told you, so this can be systematically understood from the perspective of two important sections. So where in one section you will be systematically studying about various aspects related to society and culture. So here you will systematically study about, like in anthropology, theoretical section, that means where you will study about various aspects like what is basically society. This would be one thing. Then what about culture? So how culture is different from civilization? How about culture has been evolved in human beings? So that would be one thing. Then you will study various social institutions like marriage. Then you will study other social institutions like family. Then you will also further study other things like kinship. Then you will also study other aspects like the economic organization, then political organization, then religion. And after religion, so you will have to systematically study about some theories and thoughts. So anthropological theories and thoughts. So this is one important area. So what we can understand and how we can just understand this means, so these are some theoretical sections, so that means general sections. So you can talk about the language is another important thing. Okay, so language, communication, all those things. So this is one important portion of the socio-cultural anthropology. So then on other side, if you see dears, so there would be a specific section that would be dedicated to particularly anthropological theories and thoughts. Anthropological theories and thoughts. That means there are so many schools of anthropology. So we'll be systematically studying about that. And then apart from that, so in this section, we will also try to study various research methods and methodology, plus the field work tradition in anthropology. So this is very, very important section. So friends, try to understand that the one who masters this particular section, the one who can definitely who can show definite impact in the mains examination. So these are nothing but two important major sections of socio-cultural anthropology. So I hope it is clear for you. Now, we have physical anthropology. So when we see from the perspective of physical anthropology, so this physical anthropology, in fact, it is also called as biological anthropology. So why we are calling it as biological anthropology? Because we'll be dealing about various aspects, we'll be dealing with respect to various living aspects of the human beings. Okay, so here we'll have two important aspects. So first, in physical anthropology, we will try to deal about the basic aspects like how humans have evolved. So that means the process of evolution of humans. The evolution of human evolution. And then we will try to study about various aspects related to the primates, and that we will call it as primatology. That means how humans have been evolved from animals. Okay, so here only we will also try to study about the link between humans and animals. So this would be one important area. So this is one important section. Okay, how human has been evolved from animals. So then we'll have other important section. So this section is known as general biological anthropology. So biological anthropology is one another section. So what do you mean by this biological anthropology and what we will study here? So usually here we will study various aspects like living aspects. So what are cells? So what do you mean by, like, what are chromosomes or chromosomal aberrations? So that's one thing. And then like human genetics, that's one thing. So what is human genetics, what is Mendelian genetics, and how we have different chromosomes and chromosomal aberrations, so that kind of things. And then apart from that, we'll also study various aspects like ecological anthropology. And then that means how environment influences the humans. So that is one thing. Then we will also try to study about some aspects about the diseases, epidemiological anthropology, which particularly talks about the diseases. So that is one another important aspect. So like this, physical anthro has some different sections. So try to understand this. So then apart from these kind of basic things like human development and all those things, we will also try to study systematically about another important thing that is known as applied anthropology or applications of anthropology. So where we will try to study about various other aspects like, forensic anthropology, anthropology of the sports, nutritional anthropology. So all those things we will be studying systematically. So these are three major sections in physical anthropology. So then if you see from the perspective of the next, so we have the basic aspects about the language and basic aspects about archaeology. So there we'll systematically try to study about how human has been evolved and what are the evidences that we have. So that is one thing. So then if you see from the perspective of Indian anthropology from paper 2, so in Indian anthropology, so here we will try to study various aspects. So we will try to study how Indian culture and civilization has been started. So that would be the first thing. So the process of evolution and culture, evolution of Indian culture and civilization. So this would be one thing. So here we'll be studying various aspects from the prehistoric periods, proto-historic period, Harappan period and post-Harappan period. So all such kind of things we'll be doing here and studying here. Then apart from this, so here we will also study various aspects like related to things like traditional Indian social system. So which is made up of various aspects, like think about things like varnashram. Varnashram kya hota hai? Like what about the various purushartha kya hota hai? So varnashram, purushartha, like karma, rina, rebirth, all such kind of things we'll be studying in traditional Indian social system. And then there is another important feature of the Indian social system, that is nothing but caste system. So this is another important aspect that we'll be studying in paper 2. So caste system. So how it evolved, how is it different from Varna and theories of origin of caste, all that things. Then we have some other things syllabus like NMS complex, nature man spirit complex. So how nature, man and spirits are connected. So sacred complex, that is one another important topic like that. So then we'll also systematically study about the impacts of Buddhism, then Jainism, then Islam and Christianity, then so etc. on Indian society. So this is one another aspect. Okay, so apart from this, we will also systematically study about Indian villages. So what is the nature of Indian villages and how where there are various village studies, all such kind of things we'll be studying here. Is that clear? So this is one thing. So these are some portions that we'll be studying systematically in the Indian anthropology. So remember that this is one important aspect. Okay, so then if you see from the perspective of next, tribal anthropology, so this would be the last section in the paper 2. So tribal anthropology. So what we do in tribal anthropology, so systematically when you see from the perspective of tribal anthropology, so here first we'll be trying to study about the distribution of tribes and characteristics of tribes. So what are the different types of tribes that are there in India, how where they are distributed, so that aspects we'll study. So tribes and the distribution. So then next we will try to study about various problems faced by tribes. What are the important problems faced by tribes? Okay, then what are the various developmental projects and how they are impacting and their impact on the tribes. So this we will also study. Then apart from this, we will also try to study about various other aspects like so we will study things like welfare schemes and constitutional safeguards, for scheduled castes, for scheduled tribes, for other backward classes. So all such kind of things we will study in tribal anthropology section. And not only these sections, not only these, we will also systematically study about other important aspects like what about the ethnic movements or tribal movements. So such aspects we will be studying in tribal anthropology. So these are nothing but major sections of the anthropology syllabus. So now let us try to have a glance of the syllabus from the official UPSC paper point of view. So if you see from the perspective of this, so paper 1 syllabus as I have said, so paper 1 syllabus has been systematically divided, and there first you can see the meaning and scope of development of anthropology. That would be the first topic. Then you can see relationship with other disciplines, then branches of anthropology. So you can see this thing. So then, as I have said, human evolution and emergence of man. So this would be part of physical anthropology. So then characteristics of primates. So part of primatology. So systematically we will be studying about primates. So in the similar fashion, so we'll also study the biological basis of life, cell, DNA, protein synthesis, genes, chromosomes, cell division. So all such aspects related to physical anthropology. So here you can see the next chapters like in socio-cultural anthropology, nature of culture, nature of society, and then you can see marriage, various aspects related to marriage, definition, laws of marriage, types of marriage, functions of marriage, marriage regulations. So they are all very, very important to understand. Then family is one important thing in socio-cultural anthropology. Then you can see kinship is another important thing. So we have to understand the economic organization as a social institution. Then you can see political organization and social control. So like that, so whatever the things that we have said, and all of them will be there in a systematic fashion. So this is basically the syllabus. So try to just download the syllabus either from the internet or from the UPSC notification. So try to just go through these sections, so which I have just decoded and I have explained you. So just read line by line, because each and every topic mentioned in the syllabus is a prospective question for you. So like this, if you see, so there are so many topics. So try to just read the syllabus in a systematic fashion. So this is one important effort that you have to keep and you have to do from your perspective. So friends, in next video, I'll try to just make one clear presentation where I'll connect this particular syllabus of anthropology with that of GS. That means how anthropology syllabus is overlapped with the general studies. So let us try to have that in different discussion, because that's a very, very important thing that you have to know, because majority of the section of anthropology syllabus will match with the GS portion. So let's try to do that let's try to take up the task in the next video, and let us try to just understand that in the coming up videos. So that's all for today from my side. So thank you all, and I'm signing off for today. Thank you all.